And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth. Centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, health, nutrition, and over 80 categories of consumer advocacy. We want to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now I want you to pull out your smartphone and save our consumer advocate hotline number in your phone. It's 813-917-1894.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-917-1894. Don't forget our number. Bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. That's our blog site, a plethora of information. You can see links to all of our expert contributors, over 80 show partners now with the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work. This show's for you. We're going to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage you in an effort to help you win in any marketplace. This segment is brought to you by our official hotel partner, that's Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora in St. Pete Beach. It's the first new hotel built in St. Pete Beach in decades. Spanish ancestry meets cool Mediterranean attitude, whitewashed Mediterranean palace with expansive luxury suites with balconies overlooking the Intercoastal Waterway. And if you're a boater like me, I like to get out there on the weekends on Freedom Boat Club and enjoy the beautiful waterways we have here in Tampa Bay. They've got the boat docks there. They got a pool and spa downstairs, the Castile restaurant on site, and rooftop yoga on the weekends. And we also have an awesome event coming up, business growth seminar and a rooftop happy hour at the Hotel Zamora. Now, this is a free event put on by Rhymes Media Group and Quarterback Productions. It's a free event, Friday, March 24th. Mark your calendar. Save the date. Friday, March 24th, 3 p.m. at 3701 Gulf Boulevard in St. Pete Beach. And it's going to be packed with pure content, business growth strategies from a business coach, as well as digital marketing strategies to help you beat your competition online. How to rank on Google, SEO, PPC, and social. So more of that later in the show. Let's go around the horn now, make our introductions. In studio, attorney Gregory, St. Jour Law Firm. Welcome in, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here, Brendan, and having the opportunity to discuss some of the important topics we're facing right now and the legal community with your listeners. Gregory St. Jour from the St. Jour Law Firm. We're big enough to serve you and small enough to care about you.
That's right. I love it. Yeah, personal injury, criminal defense. We're going to talk a little immigration as well today. Also back in studio, Debra Shreiber representing Rhymes Media Group. She's the VP of Sales and Marketing. Welcome back in.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Going to chat about Rhymes Media Group, what you just teased a minute ago about our next coming event. We just hosted an event here that was a huge success.
Yep.
To teach our small businesses how to show up online when a ready-to-buy customer is looking to buy your product or service. So we'll talk a little bit about that in our upcoming event on the 24th.
That's right. Awesome. And also back in studio, my friend Abe, Total Title Solution, Abe's Place here in Tampa Bay. Welcome back in, Abraham.
Thank you. Glad to be back. I'm surprised you guys keep inviting me back.
Because you bring the donuts and coffee, dude.
I want to give you a quick plug though on your show. A national website reached out to us, and they saw us somehow on the repurpose of the information, and they want to connect to our website and vice versa. And their site is a consumer. They found really good value for it. I can't remember the website, but I'll have Ryan send it to you. Yeah,
nice.
That's a great idea to take the content and repurpose it on your website, on your social media platforms. We tell our partners every day, probably several times while they're here, to do that.
So the word is spreading. It's awesome.
Very good.
We love it. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of momentum going on around the Quarterback Show, as well as Tampa Bay in general. You know, we're real excited about a lot of the growth and things happening in Tampa Bay. And we always start off our show with a little personal development. So we got Peyton Manning there helping us with that audible. Sometimes in life you want to call this audible. Now, what if I told you in your brain, in your mind, you had this awesome computer that's going to allow you to attract business and prosperity and success into your life? Well, you actually do. It's called a RAS. It's the reticular activation system in your brain, and it's going to help you live a happier, healthier life, obtain more prosperity and success, whatever success means to you. It's individual for each person. And so, we have this reticular activation system in our brain, and unfortunately, a lot of people are using it incorrectly. They're repeating things that are negative. I can't do that. I'm too short. I'm too this or that. I'm always late. They're telling themselves that they're not good at a certain thing. And unfortunately, it's wrong, and you shouldn't do that. You always want to be positive, present tense. You want to think about things that you want to attract into your life. And the way it works is, and we've all seen this happen, have you ever been turned on to a particular automobile, or you bought a new car, right? So a couple weeks ago, I went and test drove a new Tesla. I'm looking at, it's on my vision board, and very soon it's going to be mine. I already know that it's mine. It's just a matter of time. So I drove
to the universe, right?
That's right. I put it out to the universe. I drove that Tesla. The doors open up like that. Really cool. And so what happens is, now when I'm driving around, my brain just naturally, boom, there's one. It attracts it to as I'm driving down the road. Right. So that's the way our reticular activation system works in our brain. And the problem, and again, is that most people are programming it the wrong way. They're programming negatively. So, and it's all about the way you phrase things. So, example, if you're a smoker and you want to quit smoking, say you wouldn't say I'm a non-smoker, or you wouldn't say I want to quit smoking. You would say I am a non-smoker. You would say it positive present tense, right? And it's a bad, to remember names. There's certain people that, I'm bad at remembering names. I'm always late. Well, the thing is, when you want to remember names, you got to actually care. First of all, when you shake the person's hand, you look them in the eye, you repeat the name as you part, and you try to associate the names with people and some type of an attribute that they have. So people tend to dwell on the negative, and that's what happens when you think about the reticular activation system. And it's all about programming your subconscious mind. So the best way to do that is first thing in the morning, or the last thing at night, right before you go to bed, you want to write down positive things. What are you looking to attract into? Tony Robbins, one of my favorites, I went to his business mastery course all the way in Namale, Fiji. We actually have his son Jarrett coming on next week, who's local here in Tampa Bay. He would say that you would demand of your subconscious mind. He would say, I now command my subconscious mind to attract this into my life, success and prosperity. Whatever your goals are, you write them down, and you actually write them down in the mornings and in the evenings, and then you're going to write down your plan. So let's go ahead and jump into this great content. That's your quarterback audible here, and I want to go ahead and open up the floor. Gregory St. Jour, personal injury attorney here in Tampa Bay, criminal defense. What are you seeing out there?
Well, one issue that we're having is, and I'm glad you mentioned about buying the Tesla, is void ab initio. Basically, what that means is the contract that you've had with an insurance company, they cancel it from the onset. What we're seeing a lot of times, especially with the smaller insurance companies, when you have an insurance policy, most people, they get the policy for 6 months, and every 6 months they just go ahead and renew it. There's a lack of personal interaction with an insurance broker, and most of it is done online. What happens is you have that beautiful Tesla, you're driving it, you pay your premium every month, and you get into an accident.
Yep.
So you're assuming, well, everything is fine, I'm covered, I've been paying my insurance. Then you get a letter from the insurance company telling you, hey, you know what, Brandon? Here's your premiums. We're returning everything to you. You're not covered. You never had any insurance for your car.
Wow.
And that's happening a lot more often now with the smaller insurance companies. They're banking on a lot of people that when it's time that they have to spend the money out for an accident, whether it's for injury or for property damage, they'll find a reason to cancel that policy on you after a claim is filed.
Oh, yeah, they love to collect the premium, but when it comes time to pay, and especially when people are in need, a lot of times, I've heard horror stories. I'm sure you've seen a lot. People are waiting to get retribution. They're waiting to get money paid out on an accident. They're waiting to get a rental car in some cases. And these folks, they want to. Then they sit behind their pen and hide behind their desk.
That is correct. And one thing, I always tell all my clients, when you have minor kids in the home, when they become of age to where they can get a learner's permit or a driver's license, you want to go over your policy and add them. Because what the insurance company will say is that's material misrepresentation. And a lot of time people, when they get a policy, certain things they just leave out. Sometimes you move and you just renew the policy. Since most people, they don't get anything by mail, everything is done via email. They get the policy, they renew it, and they forget to change their their address on it. That can be used as material misrepresentation. Some people, they rent out a room to their home to someone, and they forget to let the insurance company know, hey, there's an adult that's living in the home now, although they're not driving your car. That can be used as a material misrepresentation. And that now affects you because it leaves you personally liable for an accident that you're involved in when you thought you had a policy in place to protect you.
Yeah, absolutely. And they look for those reasons to get out of this. And that's why we're, as a consumer advocate here in Tampa Bay, we're going against the nonsense out there. We're helping you be a smarter consumer, helping you avoid commission-based advice and make these smart decisions. More from attorney Gregory St. Jour when we come back, as well as Deb Shreiber. And we've got Abe in the house as well, Total Title Solutions here as well. And we're going to talk about the top 10 weird holidays you need to start celebrating according to top10s.net. And interesting content coming up from you for the quarterback show. Big shout out to the Maids Cleaning Service. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties. 24-hour, 100% satisfaction guaranteed by the Maids Cleaning Service. They are referred for a reason. Stay with us on the other side of the break. We're going to have some more consumer advocate content. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, former USF football player. I played on the inaugural football team in the University of South Florida and longtime quarterback. And now we're quarterbacking transactions, helping sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties, helping business owners profit more as well. And being that consumer advocate, we're going to help you win here. And we want to remind you, we got a book out there on Amazon. Check out our book, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. Have you ever wanted to own your own radio and TV show but didn't know where to start? Then this book is for you. Utilize Brandon's proven methods for success and become one of the most valuable players in your industry by harnessing the power of the radio waves. So the book's on Amazon. We'd love for you to buy a copy, download it, leave us a nice review. We would greatly appreciate that. And we're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa, Florida, every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., your most important hour on the radio radio filled with consumer advocate tips, things to do, things to avoid, and top nuggets of advice for small business owners out there, entrepreneurs, as well as consumers. And I got a couple of hot listings. I want to let you know about this property here. I just listed 2606 North Valrico Road in Seffner. This is an 84-acre opportunity. So attention builders, developers, entrepreneurs out there, 2606 North Valrico Road in Seffner, $1.79 million is the price tag for a residential development opportunity on 84 acres in beautiful Tampa Bay. All right, so we got attorney Gregory St. Jour here, St. Jour Law Firm in studio. We're talking personal injury and criminal defense as well. And so a lot of times it's about properly preparing and protecting yourself almost with the insurance agencies a lot of times.
That is correct, Brendan. One thing I always tell my clients, when it's time to renew your policy, be sure you review everything, go over everything, because sometimes just a small mistake or something you forget and you leave out can leave you exposed personally to personal liabilities. And another thing is, whenever you get a policy, it's very, very, very important that you make sure you have coverage, uninsured or underinsured coverage. Mm-hmm. And what that will do is, if you're ever in that situation where someone hit you and their policy is canceled by the insurance company, you're ensured that you're protected by your own policy. A lot of people, they don't take the time out to go through the policy to make sure that they're properly protected.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, they should really reach out to a local agent that they can touch and walk into their office so he or she can help them with their policies. Don't buy it online. You should really have somebody in front of you.
That is correct. Ideally, that's the best route to go, because when you sit down and you have an agent, you have someone that can explain to you what a lot of the terms mean, what you're getting into, because for a lot of people, they just go online, they click a couple boxes, and they purchase it. And this is a contract that's made to protect you, your livelihood, your family, and sometimes, your most valuable possession, which is your vehicle, unless you own a home. And a lot of people, they take that very lightly.
So this is a great tip for the consumers out there. Please go to the local office.
That is correct.
That's right.
Okay, great.
Yeah, reach out to local, sit down, and also you want to review your policies. Have an annual review. We talk a lot about, this time of year, people were talking with Brace Accounting, our accounting partner, and they're getting their taxes done. You want to make sure your financial advisor is understanding how he or she is putting together your tax returns. You want to have your mortgage professional involved if you're carrying debt on different assets. So it's all about a comprehensive approach with the Quarterback Show. And we want you to think of this show as the hub of your financial and business wheel, with each spoke extending out, representing another one of our preferred partners, our expert contributors that can help you in these different areas. And right now we're on studio. We're talking with attorney Gregory St. Jour, the St. Jour Law Firm here in Tampa Bay, and talking personal injury and criminal defense. I think one of the biggest topics when it comes to criminal defense, Greg, is that when you're out there, you're having fun, you're drinking a little bit, you get pulled over. Do you blow or do you not blow? That's one of the things that I hear sometimes when they talk about a DUI defense. They want to get you out of the car, and so what's your take on that?
Well, one thing we always let my clients know, when you pulled over by an officer, when the officer starts asking you questions and they start asking that you perform certain tests, the officer right now at this point is investigating the situation. So the more you do, the more opportunity you give them to gather evidence that can be used against you in a court of law. If you've been drinking, you've been drinking, it's better not to give the officer any evidence.
Shouldn't they call Uber first
Yes.
before we get there? I mean, come on.
Some people still
Uber,
let's
Lyft, a friend.
Yeah.
But they think they can do it. They think they can get there.
Yeah, the best thing is not get to that position where you pulled over.
Right.
Okay. Uber. They should do that.
Yeah,
just
call
tell them
Uber and get home safely, and that's the best thing for everyone involved.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you are in that position, you're not. If you decide to not take the test, you're automatically admitting guilt. Is that right?
If you decide not to take the test, there are two different aspects of it. You have the administrative aspect, and you have the criminal aspect. Once you get a driver's license in the state of Florida, you basically sign a contract with the state that if any time an officer pull you over and they ask that you do a field sobriety test, you will consent. By not consenting, you're violating that contract with the state of Florida.
Right.
So the state can take your license. That portion is the administrative portion. Then you have the criminal portion where you go in front of a judge, and the judge can choose to suspend your license for violating the law. So you have two aspects of it. Now, the administrative aspect, if you choose to follow the officer's command and do the field sobriety test, do the walkthrough, you can be charged with a crime. And of course, once you're charged with the crime, your license can be suspended. If you choose not to blow, now you're violating the field sobriety portion. You're violating the administrative portion of the law of your pact with the state of Florida to have your driver's license. That's a different aspect.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Well put, well said there. And if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. In studio, we got Abraham Moussa with Total Title Solutions, Debra Shreiber, and we're talking currently with attorney Gregory St. Jour, the St. Jour law firm here in Tampa Bay. And I want to touch on immigration. Let's come back and touch on immigration in just a minute. I want to go ahead and bring Deb Shreiber into the conversation, and we're going to come back, talk about immigration with attorney Gregory St. Jour, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there with immigration. What is currently happening? What are the proposed changes? I want to touch on that as well in the upcoming segment. But let's go ahead and switch gears. So we're going to talk a little bit of marketing now with Debra Shreiber. She's the VP of Sales with Rhymes Media Group.
Yeah, we just hosted a very successful event here last week for digital marketing to help businesses. We had about a dozen businesses. We helped them grow with their online platform. Some of them wanted to do it themselves. We gave them the tools to do it themselves, and some of them not so much. So we'll be following up with them this week. So the next event that we're hosting will be a condensed version of that because it was a lot of information. I think we're here for about 4 hours. So we're going to also give our attendees the 6 principles of the power of persuasion and how to effectively run their small business. And then we're also going to share with them social media platforms and how to repurpose, in particular, the link that we share here for the Consumer Quarterback Show on their social media platforms in order for them to show up online. So, for instance, if you Google Debra Shreiber, I will bet you $100 there's going to be a link to the Consumer Quarterback Show under my name.
Right.
There might be some other stuff, too, that, no, just kidding. But in any event, so we're going to talk about how to grow your business effectively online, and how to share that content on your website and on your different social media platforms. I mean, there's so many different tools, internet marketing tools that you can use today. It's crazy. I mean, 6 years ago, we didn't have, 6 to 8 years ago, we probably had maybe half a dozen. Right. Now it's insane. It's just
a lot of microsites, a lot of opportunity. So that's the 3 o'clock to 5:30 version, and then at 5:30 we get you'd like to mix a little work and play, right? So
that was your
at 5:30, what we're going to do, we're going to have the rooftop happy hour. It's going to be great. So at 5:30 we're having our
he wants to have a happy hour after the event. It's going to be fun.
That's our gratitude party. That's where we invite prospects, our sellers out there, all of our current partners, and we go up there and we do have a great networking opportunity, and it's on the rooftop of the Hotel Zamora. What better venue could you want, overlooking the Gulf of Mexico? So that's Friday the 24th. You want to mark that down on your calendar. Friday, March 24th, 3 p.m.
And it's free.
Yeah, it's a free event. That's right. 3701 Gulf Boulevard, St. Pete Beach at the Hotel Zamora. And we also at 5:30 we have that rooftop opportunity as well, a happy hour. So a lot of times Friday, 3 o'clock, people take off, they knock off early, they go golfing, they go home to spend time early with their family. But this is an opportunity for those that are dedicated and driven to really grab the bull by the horns, learn more to earn more, and engage us with the business growth seminar that we're having at the Hotel Zamora the 24th of March at 3 p.m. And when we come back after the break, we're going to talk more on immigration. We're going to bring Abraham Moussa into the conversation, Total Title Solutions, also the owner of Abe's Place, and also more from attorney Gregory St. Jour law firm here in Tampa Bay, highly respected personal injury attorney, criminal defense attorney as well. And we're going to get him to comment a little bit on immigration, what's happening out there, how are Trump's policies going to be different from the previous administration, what is actually at the root of that, and more from our experts here in studio, the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. Big shout out to our moving partner, Source One Solutions, the official security partner of the Quarterback Show, as well as Smart Move Moving and Storage, our official moving partner. Say hello to Hannah and her team with Smart Move Moving and Storage, all your local moving, as well as our security partner, Source One Solutions, the official security partner, utilizing Honeywell technology, protecting your home or your office. Big shout out to Robert Hessel and his team with Source One Solutions, Honeywell technology, and protect your assets. All right, we're back here in studio live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa, Florida here. Intelligent Talk Radio, helping you win as a consumer, small business owners out there. We want to help you avoid a lot of the commission-based advice, make you just a bit more street smart out here on the Quarterback Show. And my name is Brandon Rhymes. I'm your host. I'm also the owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. And I've got a hot property just got listed here, 0 Shoreline Boulevard in Hernando Beach. This is 3 waterfront commercial lots on corner of Hermosa and Shoreline in Hernando Beach. It's a combined parcel. So a great opportunity for a business development opportunity here, 0 Shoreline Boulevard, Hernando Beach, Florida, as well as a beautiful waterfront residential home here at 8928 North Arowana Avenue in Tampa. 3-bedroom, 2-bath property, custom waterfront home on Twin Lakes, designed with the family in mind. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And it's a beautiful ski lake property here, just reduced down to $389,000, is 8928 North Arowana. Beautiful property here in Tampa Bay.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, so we're back here in studio. We're talking with Abraham Moussa, Total Title Solutions, also the owner of Abe's Place. And we've got attorney Gregory St. Jour Law Firm here in Tampa. We're going to kind of switch gears, talk a little bit about title insurance, things happening in your space, Abe, and then we'll jump into immigration partway through this conversation.
Awesome. Title insurance is still the same. I think you should, what I hear from Gregory over there and Deb is that you truly should do what you do best and hire a professional for the rest.
Yeah.
Be as it may an insurance agent or social media expert or advertisers. And of course, hire us to do your title work. A lot of people sometimes when they're doing cash properties, because it's an optional insurance, they opt not to buy that title insurance. And it comes back to bite you really. Sometimes that issue does not exist till 10 years from now until you decide to sell that property.
Right.
And we're dealing with a quick issue right now. It's just 2 feet into the neighbor's yard. And the property's been bought and sold for a couple of times now. Until now, the problem caught out. And it's $1 million deal. And the deal fell apart because that little 2 feet. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So please.
So how does something like that slip through then, Abe?
Sometimes people decide to cut some corners on one of their major expense or major investment ever. Mm-hmm. Somebody down the line bought the property in cash, decide not to buy a survey.
Right.
And then it was never discovered or caught, and nobody had actually told them, hey, you really should buy a survey. And that's how it really goes. Or in many cases, incompetent people, or simply, which is we are a fallible human being, we made a mistake. Somebody down the line made a mistake.
Yep. I had that happen on a property that's under contract right now. We're actually dealing with the long story, long situation. But, yeah, there was actually a typo in the legal description that caused an error and a blemish, and it was really big on a commercial deal dealing with the egress and ingress on the property. So the buyer's putting in a veterinarian office. So, unfortunately, it caused an issue with, the way that they designed the driveway. And so, anyways, that can happen. Total Title Solutions is the official partner on the Quarterback Show here. And if you're selling real estate property, it is your choice to choose the title insurance agent on your property. So that's an important point as well, Abe.
Thank you. Brandon would say hire us or hire anybody, but hire the professional to do the work for the later investment. I mean, we can go on about bad example of what happened, but what happened when you pay off your loan and your lender went out of business, and 20 years from now you cannot have a satisfaction on that. We're facing those issues now where it will delay your closing.
That's right.
So please hire the professionals.
Yeah, identity theft prevention, recovery. We talked with William Crawley on yesterday's show. A lot of these things are surfacing, and it's all about being diligent with your process. You're making sure you're making the right decisions, informed decisions, and that's why all of our partners here with the Quarterback Show, we take a consultative approach to helping consumers win in any market chase. That's the goal of our show. And so we're back here in studio. If you just joined us, I'm Brandon Rhymes. I'm your host. We're talking with Abraham Moussa, Total Title Solutions, as well as attorney Gregory St. Jour, the St. Jour law firm here in Tampa Bay. So now let's switch gears here. Let's talk a little immigration. It's such a component now in our, the family tree. Even I think back to my grandparents on my dad's side from Portugal, first generation through New York. Many of us we're a country built on immigrants. So, and I know, Abe, your family, you have the immigration on your side as well. So I wanted to get maybe just a quick setup from you, and then I wanted to ask attorney Gregory St. Jour just a little bit about, so he can maybe break it down for our listeners. What's current policy now? What is Trump proposing? What's the pros and cons to both sides of that? So,
go ahead.
Well,
policy.
The issue we're having now is the president ran under the platform that he would deport illegal immigrants that are criminals.
Right.
Now, the law of the nation, basically based on the law, if you're here illegally, you're violating the law because you're here illegally.
Right.
A lot of the people that are being caught in this net, when you define what's a criminal,
right,
a lot of people, they think, well, you have drug dealers out there, people that are committing felonies, misdemeanors, so on and so forth. Those are the criminals that need to be deported. But by being here illegally, a lot of the people that get caught in the net, like, if you can't work, you have fraudulent papers to work. So now, does that make you a criminal that needs to be deported? If you have to get to work, you're driving without a license, you get pulled over because you don't have any paperwork, you're driving with no license.
Yeah.
Now, does that make you a criminal that needs to be deported? So I think that's where we're having a lot of issues where, a lot of people being here illegally are making them criminals.
Right.
And a lot of people with what the president is trying to do, deporting as many people. Well, to me, it seems like deporting as many people as possible that are criminals. We're creating criminals where, even though the people, they're here illegally, but there's a lot of fear. Like at my office, we're getting a lot of calls from a lot of people. They're scared to go to work. And it's just right now it's chaos because for a lot of people, a lot of people say, well, if you're here illegally, why don't you just become legal? The issues are.
I'll take that one. I'll take that one for you because there is a huge misconception about this, and this is my personal experience, not the legal stuff that you may or may not go through. The misconception is you can just go ahead and file some paperwork and become legal. It literally took me from approval of my application to get my citizenship 12 years.
Wow.
12 years it took me to do that. And actually I was coming to that immigration center here in Kennedy somewhere, in West Gray Street.
Yep.
I used to come over there for that one. It's not that easy to go ahead and become a U.S. citizen or otherwise. So the idea of it, you just walk across the border, go to the American consulate inside. It's not like that.
Yeah.
And the other misconception, and I appreciate the people that, trying to come to the country and we're trying to enforce our laws. I completely understand and appreciate that. But the idea of blocking immigration completely, and we just think it's just a bunch of our neighbor borders just going to come over the U.S., we have forgotten that we need doctors. Okay, that most of them are immigrant. We need farm workers. We need, how about all the stuff that we're driven here? Engineers, software engineers. It's not just the blue collar workers that's coming across the border. I mean, the immigration is a grand thing that we must need it. We must have it, and we need it.
Yeah, it's a melting pot. That's what the beauty of America is it's such a melting pot, and it's all the different cultures blended. So I think back to your point, it's a great point you made there, is where do we draw that line? Is it a misdemeanor? Is it a second degree felony? Where is it at? I think generally speaking, most people would agree, like, hey, if somebody killed somebody, like happened in, I believe it was San Francisco area last year, you had that person that killed somebody. Oh, it's a sanctuary city. You can't process this person. We're going to deport them. That, I think, is where a lot of people have the issue.
And that is correct. And like you said, it's very, very hard to become legal. Once you're in this country, you're illegal because you have to find a mechanism that qualifies you to become legal. And for some people, that mechanism just simply it's not
It's
there.
money a lot of times.
Exactly.
Right?
You
Property.
know, sometimes it's not even you can have as much money as possible, but you don't qualify. You simply don't qualify. So the mechanism is simply not there. That's why you've you know, there are a lot of marriages. One way to become legal is by marriages, and you know, some people they have fraudulent marriages because that's one mechanism.
Yep.
So you know, it's just at this point we're just waiting to see you know, what's happening, and we're here for the community to try to help people as much as possible.
Perfect. Yeah. Hey, let's carry this conversation over after the break here. We're going to talk more immigration law. I think it's just such a hot topic. And we're also going to talk about the top 10 weird holidays you need to start celebrating according to top10s.net. So we're going to mix it up here, having some fun with you on the Quarterback Show. And I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And we're real happy you're listening. And we want to help you win as a consumer advocate here in Tampa Bay. And so stay with us. Do not touch that dial. Consumer Quarterback Show. Reminder to check out our website, consumerqb.com. And you can see links to all of our expert contributors at consumerqb.com. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay. Hot listing for you. I got Bridgewater Lane in Tampa, $249,000 just reduced, completely renovated property here. And it's a beautiful property in a nice neighborhood here. Bridgewater Lane in Tampa, $249,000 just reduced. Great buying opportunity on a waterfront property, as well as Lake Magdalene Boulevard as well. 5-bedroom, 3-bath property. Seller is motivated. You got a balcony view here with beautiful waterfront opportunity on a ski lake in Carrollwood. Just reduced down to $524,000 on Lake Magdalene Boulevard here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Coming up as well, we're going to talk about the top 10 weird holidays you need to start celebrating according to top10s.net. But now let's stay on this immigration topic. I think it's such a hot topic. It's so timely as well with what's happening in our economy and what's happening with the presidential election cycle, this 24/7 nauseating media cycle that we're all part of, whether we like it or not. And so in studio, we've got attorney Gregory Jour Law Firm. We've got Abraham Moussa. He's the owner of Total Title Solutions. He's an entrepreneur. He also has a restaurant here in Clearwater area, Abe's Place as well. And staying on this topic, immigration, a lot of misinformation, a lot of false information floating around out there. And I think a lot of times we think about, we've mentioned we're both from the South Florida area, and large farming, large tomatoes, large orange groves, and all types of different farming. And that's one of the top topics that you see come up every time this immigration is, who's going to harvest the fruit, who's going to harvest the vegetables. And you see the documentaries as well. I've seen those documentaries. So there's a common sense that needs to be applied here. How do you see this whole thing shaking out?
Well, like Abraham said, immigration that's a comprehensive part of our nation. Legal immigration, and the issues we're having in a lot of the farming communities in South Florida, Southwest Florida, you're having officers that's pulling people over without probable cause,
right?
Because that community, they believe there are a lot of people without, paperwork, and at this point, we're doing the best that we can, being on the front line, being immigration attorneys, to make sure that those people, their rights are enforced. Because even if you're here illegally, you still have certain rights,
right?
That the country that owe to you by being here. And
sure.
At this point, we're doing the best that we can to be available to those who need any help, any assistance.
Right.
ICE, they're trying to uphold the law, and even the way a lot of the laws are rolled out is very complicated. Even the people that are enforcing the laws at times,
right,
they don't know how to enforce the law. They don't know what's the best way to enforce the laws. So a lot of times, we're meeting with clients, we're meeting with people where their rights are being violated by the people that's here to enforce the laws for them.
Yeah, let's do a call to action right now. If you or someone is facing these areas of personal injury law we talked about criminal defense law as well as immigration, pull out your smartphone, do yourself a favor, your friend, give us a call or a text. Just raise your hand, let us know how we can help you just by sending a simple text to 813-917-1894. Give us a call at 813-917-1894, or just shoot a quick text message, and we're going to put you in contact with attorney Gregory Jour Law Firm. I imagine you would sit down with these folks for a half hour or so and go over a consultation.
Yes, and we have free consultation up to 30 minutes. If you have any issues, any problem, stop by the office or over the phone, and we'll discuss it with you, and we'll come up with a good plan of action on the best way to go by tackling the issue.
Perfect. Yeah. Any comments on that, Abraham? Did you want to add something?
Brandon, you started the show with positive reinforced thinking.
That's right.
That's the show started. Well, right now we're demonizing immigration, and the sentiment is so negative toward immigrant and immigration that the only thing you're looking at is the negative aspect of immigration. But the truth of the matter is, let's begin with this. We're all business owners. We're all about consumptionship. I mean, immigrant are consumers. You know how many immigrant people buy houses, own businesses, start all kind of stuff here. So it's an economical machine that can never, ever be stopped. Now, let's understand this. We all agree there is always unintended consequences for any policy.
Right.
And there's always going to be that. There's always going to be an exception.
Yep.
But can we balance this whole thing, continue the foundation of our country that is built on money of the immigrant that come here? And it's my favorite topic would say, can you imagine we didn't allow Albert Einstein to come to this country? What would have
Right.
happened to us
Yeah.
if we did not win World War II based on the invention of the atomic bomb?
Sure.
So there's a lot to it, guys. And the truth is, they all say, well, they're taking the American job. You know what? I have job opening all the time. I can't fill them.
Yeah,
I'm
hear
sorry. I don't understand this whole idea. Like, there is a disconnect between what is out there, what's visible, what people know. And I would say people are misinformed. I really do. I feel if people know the truth, they will revolt against it, and nobody will ever talk bad about this. They're just misinformed. They say the employment is low. I mean, they're taking the American job. No, they're not. We have so much job opening. It's unbelievable. And I'm not talking just the low-paying jobs. We're talking doctors. We're talking engineers. We're talking almost everybody have a job opening. So I will beg everybody to look at people like myself. You know, I've been a good steward. I've been a good citizen. We've done well. I employ many people. I pay good taxes. I live in the community. I bank within the community. As a matter of fact, I have never referred to where I come from as my country. I referred the old country.
Right.
I have assimilated in this country as I am one of everybody else. There is no, other than my accent, I can't tell you the difference.
Yeah. No, you're right on point, Abe. And it's like we talked about in yesterday's show as well. Is most immigrants, when they come over here, they're bringing innovation, they're bringing hunger and drive. They're wanting to obtain a level of success and prosperity that they could only dream about in the other country where they came from. In many cases, most cases. So when you look at this, I agree. We're a melting pot. It's our founding. Some of our greatest attributes come from that. And it's the blending of ideas. It's the blending of entrepreneurship. I think it's at the root of entrepreneurship, and you see that. So we wanted to cover this top 10 weird holidays that you need to start
Brandy,
celebrating.
I need one topic on this. I would like to tell you this. As an immigrant, when I hear the news, I always pray to God. Say, please don't let it be another immigrant. Because we, the good ones, are embarrassed with the behavior of others. But I have to honestly tell you, it's like that's far and few in between. But it still affects us. Like, please, I pray not to be like another immigrant, any immigrant in that matter, because we don't want that. We want to be part of the community.
Yeah. And it needs to be a common sense approach, just like we were talking about before. And with a common sense approach, where do they draw the line at? Attorney Gregory St. Jour here in studio, and that's what we're talking about. So if it's people that are out there doing the bad things, the raping, the killing, those types of things, yes, those need to be deported. Now, if they had a misdemeanor, or if it's because they came across, let's work at work permits, work programs, investment in infrastructure, investment in the community. And so let's go ahead and jump into our lightning round here. All right, top tips, things to do, things to avoid. We're going to go right here to Attorney Gregory St. Jour. Top tips, things to do, things to avoid.
Well, I would say top tips of things to do, like we were talking about earlier. If you have, just to be more mindful with the law, with certain things you have to do. If you have any insurance policy, be sure to go over it. Call a professional to go over it with you. You can contact me at my office, and I will help you go through your policy. Because a lot of times, a lot of the clients, they call me and they're in a bad situation where I can't help them because they did not have a professional help them with their policy.
And it's too late at that point. So that's the challenge. That's the challenge. Top tips, things to do, things to avoid. Abe?
Of course, I always say hire the professional. As I always end it, is you need to hire the professional to help you with almost anything. Do what you do best. Hire out for all the rest. That is my thing. But lastly, I would say please stay positive.
That's right.
Let's be grateful for what we have, and it's not really all that bad. Don't listen to the news that much.
That's right. Yeah, turn the news off. Focus on positive content and grow your mind, grow your brain, read more. I was reading an interesting article about Jeff Vinik, how he decided to buy the Tampa Bay Lightning. And when he did, he said he immersed himself in sports management books and just learned as much as you can on a daily basis. Goal-oriented thinking versus reactionary thinking. Here's a great quote from Vince Lombardi. Mental toughness is many things and rather difficult to explain. Its qualities are sacrifice, self-denial. Also, most importantly, it is combined with a perfectly disciplined will that refuses to give in. It's a state of mind. You could call it character in action. So that's a great quote to end our show on. I want to thank Attorney Gregory St. Jour Law Firm. All of our partners are located on consumerqb.com. I want to thank Abraham Moussa, Total Title Solutions, as well as Deb Shreiber and Rhymes Media Group, VP of Sales and Marketing. And I want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Something as simple as packing up leftover food you may have, taking it with you to and from your commute to work, handing it to that homeless person that you see that's in need. And also 5 ways to contribute. Take 10% of your money, give it away. Become a mentor. Visit and spend time with others. Give to those in need, and become a volunteer. So Consumer Quarterback Show, we greatly appreciate you. Check us out on YouTube as well, facebook.com. And Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.